Hello children, welcome to the video lectures of Social Science Standard 10th. This is the second video lecture of chapter number 17, Economic Problems and Challenges, Poverty and Unemployment. In the previous video lecture, we saw what was poverty, right? We also saw about people living below poverty line, what were the features of people below poverty line. We also connected it to people who are living around us who are considered poor. Then we also saw what efforts are being made by their government to fight the poverty and uplift the standard of these people living below poverty line. At the same time, we also saw that how the calculation of below poverty line is being made, what factors are included in it, and what factors are responsible for the demarcation of above poverty line and below poverty line. Now we are going to see the measurement of poverty, how the poverty is measured. Measurement of poverty. There are two ways of knowing the number of people living below poverty line. So there are two ways with which we can understand the people living below poverty line. First, on the basis of the expenditure behind various commodities or services by a family, right? First is by the expenses that a family makes on various basic commodities or services. Commodities means things, okay? Second, on the basis of total income of a family, family means 5 members. Second is on the basis of the family income that is earned by a family. Now family here means 5 members. 5 members, okay, mother, father and children, okay. So at least 5 people should be there, so that is considered as a family. So on the basis of that, the calculation of the family and the poverty is done. The first is absolute poverty. Now what is absolute poverty? From the name from the name itself we can know that it means pure poverty or simple poverty. Those people of society who are not able to purchase the basic necessities of life like food, grains, pulses, milk, vegetable at lowest market rates are said to be absolute poor. Say those people who are not able to buy these things, the basic needs, even at the lowest rate, are considered poor. Those people who are considered poor and they don't have money with them, so they will be termed as absolute poor people, right? Who are not able to buy these basic needs. Second type of poverty is relative poverty. A society has different income groups. See, now there will be different income groups. Usually we can divide the country or the economy into three uh, income groups. The high income group, those who are rich people. The middle income group means the middle class people, and the lower income group means the poor people, okay. But in that also there are subdivisions, okay. There are a lot of subdivisions, right? And it is different from different country that who will be termed as a middle class person or a rich person, right? So there are a lot of variations into it, but there are different groups. Among them, some groups have a low income in comparison to others. There are certain groups which are having lesser income in comparison to others. Such a group is considered to be relatively poor. They are considered relatively poor to other. This concept is more prevalent in developed countries. In developed countries, it is seen that there are people who are very rich, and there are certain groups who are comparatively poor. When we will talk about them, they are usually considered poor or low income groups. Now the example is given. Say suppose A is earning 10,000, B is earning 20 and C is earning 30. Here income of 3% is different, okay. A, B and C, all these 3% have different incomes. As the income of A is less in relation to B. Okay, A is less in relation to B. The income of A is 10,000, so that is lesser in comparison to B, or you can say B is richer than A, right? Is 20,000, so is richer than him. But B, okay, will be poor in comparison to C because his income is 30,000, right? So here you can say A is poorer than B, but B is poorer than C. See, A is considered to be poor. In the same way, A and B is less relation to C, so they are considered poor. So you can say, right, that C is the rich person. C is the rich person, and A and B both are considered poor in comparison to A. So this is termed as relative poverty. Okay. Next is poverty in India. We are going to talk about poverty in India. In order to decide poverty line in 2011 and 12, Planning Commission of India declared per capita expenditure. We know about this. We have studied. I have told you our per capita income in the first video lecture of economics. Okay. For rural areas, it was 816, which means 4,080 per family, right? So in rural areas, village area, a person will be able to earn, if a person is able to earn 860 rupees, and a family wise it's 408, means if you multiply 816 into 5 you will get this 4080. Okay, why this 408? Because you already seen that a family is consisting of 5 expenditure, and for urban areas the per capita expenditure was fixed at 1000 per person. Accordingly, family expenditure is 5000, right? So this means at least this much per capita income should be there to reach out expenditure. It was said that if a family is earning 5000 rupees, right, then they won't be termed as poor. Okay, if a person is earning say 1000 rupees, then he won't be termed as poor. So this was the benchmark, this was the line on which the poverty was calculated in 11-12. On the basis of the new criteria, number of poor has reduced to 27 crore in 11 to 12, and rate of poverty has reduced to 21.9 percentage people. In the ratio of total population, say in 2009-10, ratio of poverty in relation to population of India was 29.8 percentage. See, okay, the ratio of poverty was 29.8, which is reduced to 21.9 percentage in 11-12. So there is a decrease in number of people who are living below poverty line. Thus, approximately 35.47 crore people were living in poverty in that time, that is in 2009-10. About 35 crore people were living below poverty line. In order to see this equivalent prevalent at international level, say when we are comparing, we have to compare at international level also. World Bank have decided per capita income. Say this per capita income was decided by the Indian government. Okay, but on international level, what was it? Then World Bank had decided the per capita income as 1.9 US dollars in 2012 as per the rate of 2018, which is considered as a scale of poverty line. Okay, so the value of 1.9 US dollars in 2012 was the benchmark. So a person, you can multiply it by 5, a person who is earning about $2 US dollars will be termed as above poverty line, and who was getting less than is termed as below poverty line. According to one report of World Bank, India's total population was approximately 121 crore in 2010. out of which 32.7 percentage people were living below poverty line at that time, which is about 45.6 crore people. That is a huge number of people were living below poverty line at that time, and that was a great concern for the government also. As per the UNDP report, UNDP stands for United Nations Development Program. Remember, United Nations Development Program 2015, ratio of poverty in India in 2011-12 was 21.92 percentage people, means about 21.92 percentage people were living below poverty line. It means out of total poor 26.93 crore people, right, were, say, from the rural areas itself. Okay, out of this, okay, 21.65 crore in the rural areas, that were 25.7, and only 5.28 crore people were in urban, in the urban poverty line. So here also you can see that out of these people who are poor, most of the poor are residing or are staying into villages, while those people who are residing into cities are less out of this, right? So that is also a great concern for us. Chhattisgarh with 36.93% is the poorest state in India, while Goa with just 5.09% is the lowest poverty rate. So we can say Goa has the lowest poverty rate. Okay, now you cannot say that Goa is the richest state, but the rate of poverty is less in comparison to others. In Gujarat, the proportion is 16.63 percentage. Okay, so that is a medium, not too high, not too low. Chandigarh, Assam, Uttar Pradesh, Manipur, Bihar, Arunachal Pradesh, Jharkhand, Orissa, etc. have more than 30% of proportion of poverty line. So these all states have about 30% of people of their population living in poverty. So that is a great concern for the state government also, how to improve the living standard of this all people. India is bestowed, means gifted, with natural resources in large quantity and in proportion in natural raw material, but because of lack of ability to make worth profit of them, lack of education, training and skill, defective planning since years, this national resources have been not utilized to their best. Say, India have a lot of national resources, okay, but due to all these factors like not proper planning, lack of education, training, defective planning, okay, unscientific usage of the resources have been not used to the extent they should be used. Okay, and that's why India is having a large section of the population still living into poverty line. As a result of its population, proportion of poverty has not reduced. So it is said that the poor live in wealthy India. Poor live in wealthy. India is wealthy, but there are people who are living into India are considered poor. This is one of the question, very important question that is asked in the examination. Give reason or explain the poor live in wealthy India. Then this can be the answer of it. Remember and understand. Now we will see about two main types of poor, that is rural poor and urban poor. Generally, who is considered as rural poor? Then generally landless laborers, farm laborers, artisans of cottage industries or small scale industries, marginal farmers, farmers who are working on daily wages, beggars, forced laborers, inhabitants of forest, means Adivasi people, mountain regions, tribals, temporary craftsmen, etc. are termed as rural poor. These people are termed as rural poor. Who are termed as urban poor? Then temporary laborers who are not having a proper job, laborers on daily wages. Okay, those people are earning day to day, right? Domestic workers, working workers at our home, or like those kam wala bhais who come at our places. Rickshawalas, workers at tea stalls or hotels or dhabas. Worker working in garages, beggars, or who are not able to satisfy their minimum basic necessity and living in poverty are considered to be urban poor. So they are termed as urban. Now you can see, if you compare, there is a difference between a rural poor and urban poor, right? Here mostly if you see, then people are either connected to laborers work or artist, or they are connected to farm, while here the people are usually connected to jobs where into factories, okay, or hotels or tea stalls or garage or something else. So there is a difference between a person, poor person in villages, at the same time a person, poor person in cities, and there's a large demarcation, there's a large difference between both of them, right? So we'll keep till here into this particular video lecture. Read and understand.